Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
Derrick James is suing Errol Spence Jr. and look, let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible. And according to Jake Donovan, Derrick James has filed a lawsuit against Errol Spence Jr. with the Dallas County District Court. Derrick James, the 2022 Trainer of the Year, is seeking damages in excess over $5 million, nearly half from what he believes he still owed from the Terrence Crawford fight last July. Now, when you look at it in the details of this particular lawsuit, you see a few things that stick out. One, these two guys never had a written contract. Derrick James says he and Errol Spence had an oral agreement of 10% of his purse. Derrick James stated that he never got a full accounting of what Errol Spence Jr. made in his fights. Derrick James did not realize he might be getting underpaid until he started working with Anthony Joshua and Ryan Garcia. He also states that Errol Spence paid him $350,000 for the Terrence Crawford fight. And at the end of the day, you know, when you look at all these details in its totality, the only person you can really blame in this situation is Derrick James. Derrick James should have gotten a contract, and it should have been specified what you get, when you get it, and how you get it. And the problem is, an oral agreement, a friendship, none of that is going to stand up in court. You can't count on that when it's about your money. You can't play about your money. You got to get a contract. Guess what? When Errol Spence gets paid for his fights, there's a contract in place. There's a written agreement in place. See, at the end of the day, Derrick has to value his services, and this is something that keeps repeating itself in history. I mean, we've seen recently where this has happened multitude of times. We've seen Abel Sanchez and Triple G split over money. Once again, you got to have a contract. You got to have a written agreement. You've seen Andre Rozier, Danny Jacobs, yet again, split over money. Now, at the end of the day, you know, you got to focus on a written agreement. You see Ryan Garcia has since taken to social media and stated that he would like to fight Errol Spence. He would like to beat him up since he's in a legal battle with his trainer, Derrick James. And at the end of the day, I think that'd be a great fight for both guys. Ryan Garcia's on the rise. Look like Errol Spence is on the decline. We don't know what's next for both of these guys, but I would love to see the fight. Styles truly do make fights. Ryan Garcia is a fast fighter with fast hands. He has hell of power. And you see Errol Spence Jr. is a come-forward fighter. So that fight is likely to end in a knockout. I would love to see it, and I think it makes perfect sense, especially with this situation. Derrick James literally knows everything about Errol Spence Jr., so I think that fight would be great.